right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Flakes in the forecast. Why Wednesday's flurries and snow showers won't be a travel headache for us.
Mismanagement and misuse of money. The new scathing audit of the former superintendent of St. Louis schools. Reaction from tonight's school board meeting just wrapping up. Our top story, violence in Venice. 12 people shot outside a Metro East nightclub.
It's insane. Unsafe world we living in.
Tonight, the search for answers as police search for a suspect.
Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. Venice police have remained tight-lipped about the shooting inside and outside Newt's Lounge 2 weeks ago. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend has been digging into this story since the violent outbreak last month, and tonight he's finally obtained the police report.
Tuesday, Newt's Lounge in Venice was closed, the parking lot empty. You could only hear the sounds of passing cars. Police say shortly after 1 a.m. on November 24th, 12 people were shot when a hail of gunfire ripped across the business on Broadway.
It's insane. That's like almost a massacre. Could have been.
2 weeks ago, 5 on your side initially tried to learn more about the mass shooting, but Venice Police Chief Kevin Knox would only say it's an ongoing investigation. We asked for a police report under the Illinois Freedom of Information Act and got it. It reveals 2 fights occurred inside Newt's Lounge and then spilled outside as bullets flew. A crowd of people ran for their lives. A total of 9 men and 3 women were shot.
Thank God everybody's alive.
Ken Truitt has run a barber shop next door for 10 years. His daughter left this lounge before the gunshots rang out.
I'm grateful that I wasn't here too, though. It's normally good to own a good person.
You know, you're supposed to be safe where you stay, you know, especially if you pay taxes.
The lounge owner declined to talk on camera. The mass shooting happened about a mile away from the Venice Police Department and City Hall. We came to Venice to try to talk to the police chief about that wild shooting. We saw Chief Kevin Knox's car parked right there in his parking space, but Knox told me he was not available to talk on camera. During a telephone conversation, he said, quote, "It's an ongoing investigation, and at this time, there's nothing further to discuss." The police report also states when officers arrived at the shooting scene, the suspect was gone.
Get down to the bottom of this and have somebody in custody. We gotta have our streets and communities safe.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And Venice Mayor Tyrone Eccles tells 5 on your side he might talk about all this tomorrow. Well, a cold night across the St. Louis region. Don't be surprised to see some flurries or light snow tomorrow. However, Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell says it shouldn't have much of an impact on the roads, right, Scott?
It's more of a mood setter than anything else because we're talking about a few flurries, limited moisture with the system, but yes, more cold air is just to our north, trying to surge our way. We've seen a couple of pockets of snow showers farther north and west, but it's going to be limited by the time it gets here. We're still at 38 in St. Louis, upper 20s to our north and west, and think that's where we're headed temperature-wise overnight. But by the time snow showers or flurries get here, we're back above freezing. It could happen anytime between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m., really honing in on the hours between 10 and 2 for St. Louis, but it's mostly just flurries. The better chance for the snow showers that maybe puts down a little dusting on some grassy surfaces will be to the north and northeast of St. Louis and off to the east of town. So generally along 64 in Illinois and northeast from there and north of St. Louis. 33 at 6 a.m. in St. Louis, 33 at 7. You will look for a mix of sun and clouds out the door tomorrow morning. Wind chills in the 20s, but those are warmer as far as wind chills go than they will be later in the day. We'll talk about the adjustments coming over the next few days in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Moments ago, the St. Louis School Board wrapped up its monthly meeting on the very day the district released new details surrounding ousted Superintendent Keisha Scarlett. Tonight, district leaders say it's time to move forward. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live at Gateway STEM School, where that meeting just wrapped up. Brent.
That's right, Mike. That meeting wrapping up within just the past 45 minutes. Tonight's focus getting back on track, despite that new audit that found questionable spending practices and hiring practices from the former superintendent. Let's go ahead, take you straight to that meeting right now. Board President Matt Davis saying the board is taking accountability and even stepping up oversight. In that 50-page report, the auditor found unauthorized travel expenses, hiring without board approval, and credit card mismanagement by the former superintendent. At tonight's meeting, the vice president telling the crowd the district is already making changes, including changing financial and hiring policies that haven't been updated since the 90s, and bringing on an internal auditor who, instead of reporting to the superintendent, will now report to a special committee made up of school leaders and community members.
As painful as this process has been, hopefully this gives us some degree of closure on that chapter, knowing that the next chapter is going to require a lot of changes in the way that this board operates, in the way that district administration operates, and the way that we interact also with the public.
And hours ago, lawyers for the former superintendent fired back, saying the board prevented her from participating in the audit or from providing any explanation. They called it a pattern of injustice and a vendetta the board has against Dr. Keisha Scarlett. Meantime, school officials tonight are praising recent academic gains. New test results show improvements from over last year when it comes to math, science, and social studies among all students. School leaders telling me that's the ammunition they need to keep moving forward. Live in St. Louis, Britt Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tonight, the commissioner of the City Justice Center is back on the job. About an hour ago, we got confirmation from Mayor Tashara Jones' office that Jennifer Clemens Abdullah returned to work this week. She went on leave back in September, and her absence raised questions about leadership at the troubled facility. The mayor's office says it was not a vacation. Tonight, a St. Louis man is in jail accused of stealing 2 cars from gas stations. Police arrested William Bishop. In both cases, the cars were left unlocked with the keys inside. The first car stolen Sunday afternoon from the Circle K station on Union Road. The next morning, another car was stolen from a mobile station on Big Bend in Crestwood. Police say that owner used a cell phone tracker and found Bishop at a Quick Trip on Lee May Ferry Road about an hour later. 3 other cars were damaged as Bishop tried to drive away. St. Louis City reported nearly a dozen similar crimes throughout the city over the weekend. And we reached out to ask if they believe St. Louis County crimes could be connected. Officials with SLMPD responded saying their investigations remain ongoing. Tonight marks 3 years since the deadly tornado that hit an Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois. 6 people were killed when the EF3 twister leveled parts of the facility. A state task force is now calling for mandatory tornado shelters in Illinois warehouses. The recommendations include emergency plans and inspector certifications. Critics argue the added costs could drive businesses out of state.
We can't just build bunkers everywhere. I think that's kind of one extreme, but the other extreme is to not do anything. And I'm glad that we are getting to something in the middle.
The task force recommendations are not yet finalized. They're expected to be presented to the Illinois General Assembly early next year. Check this out. 2 vans were destroyed after a car hauler struck a bridge. That accident shut down westbound 64 in Washington Park for about an hour this afternoon. Illinois State Police say the truck hauling the vans hit the Route 111 overpass. No one was hurt. New at 10, a local hero and businessman is getting ready to close the final chapter in his life. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski talked with the owner of Patriot Commercial Cleaning, who will be honored later this week for everything he's done for the community and for local veterans.
Timothy Smith graduated from Afton High School in 1997 and not long after joined the United States Army. He did a tour in Iraq in 2004.
I lost 8 buddies in one day, April 29th of 2004, to VBIED.
He left the military in 2007, came back to St. Louis to go to school and try to find a job. Eventually, he started his own cleaning business, Patriot Commercial Cleaning.
Since 2011, we have hired over 52 veterans and 22 family members of veterans.
And while he's thankful he made it home from the war, he didn't come back the same.
So around 2016, I was diagnosed with lung cancer from the burn pits when I was over there in 2004.
He beat cancer 3 times, but this year it came back and spread to other parts of his body.
The doctors gave me, about a month ago, they said maybe I have about a month left.
But before time runs out, he had one mission left: to publish his own book. It came out 2 weeks ago.
And it talks about all my experiences from, as a kid playing a lot of basketball at Matilda Park, to the Boys Club of St. Louis, to getting to meet the President of the United States, President Bush.
He also started a roofing company, Patriot Industries. His wife Terry will take over running both businesses with their 2 boys, Tim Jr. and Tyler, by her side.
We've been in business 15 years now at Patriot Commercial Cleaning, and a lot of that is because of the great people of St. Louis. They believe in our vision.
Now that same community is giving back to Tim and his family at the rivalry basketball game between Afton and Bayless. Afton Activities Director Brian Boehm and Bayless teacher John Robards both went to school with Tim.
We're going to donate the gate to his GoFundMe page. We're going to be selling his books that he just published.
Tim is a true hero for what he's done for other people, for what he's done for our country, and for what he continues to do for everybody, even in his last days. That's what a hero really is.
And this Friday, number 10 will take the court one last time.
And I've been able to accomplish a good amount, so have a great family. So I just wanted to leave it all at the court.
He is a hero. I got to meet him doing a Making a Difference story on him. In fact, Patriot Cleaning does the cleaning here at Channel 5.
Just
tell
an
me
amazing company.
Really, and he's given veterans jobs, and veterans who really needed jobs. So when does everything get started on Friday?
So on Friday around 6:30, between 6:30 and 7, the game between Afton and Bayless is at Afton High School, and they're hoping to honor Tim and his family during that time before the game gets started. They want people to pack the stands for him, and I'll have a lot more details about how you can help him out on KSDK.com.
Thanks for doing the story. We'll be right back.
He was hurt in a car crash.
The light pole fell on top of my car.
Now the city of St. Louis is demanding he foot the bill.
I thought, holy moly.
The surprise notice he got in the mail. Scammers on the naughty list. Tonight we're helping you spot the red flags so you don't lose any Christmas cheer or cash.
Any snow tomorrow is only a mood setter. Wet weather impacts are expected as we start the upcoming weekend. We'll time out a much more impressive system in 7 minutes.
Just hours from now, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones will officially announce how she wants to spend the city's Rams settlement money. Tonight, we're getting an early look at the Transform STL Act. It calls for spending $200 million on infrastructure and $77 million on child care and job training. The funds would be open to accept public-private investments, allowing the money to remain in interest-bearing accounts and continue to grow until it's spent. The Rams are now seeking arbitration in another legal battle with St. Louis. The Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority is suing the team over the old Rams Park facility in her city. The Rams want to buy it for just $1, as outlined in the original 1995 relocation deal. The RSA claims the 2021 settlement between the team and the city voids that provision. Tonight, a St. Louis man is fighting City Hall over a $5,800 bill he received in the mail months after being injured in a car crash.
I was kind of surprised with Saturday when I got the bill. I thought, holy moly, and they waited this long before they sent it, to me.
A light pole fell onto Mark Hartnagel's car back in August near Hampton and Columbia on the Hill. He is confused as to why he got the bill, claiming it was another driver who caused the crash. City officials tell 5 on Your Side that Hartnagel can dispute the bill, and he tells us he plans to do so. A Metro East woman has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the manufacturer of Sleep Number beds. In the lawsuit filed in St. Louis County, the plaintiff alleges the adjustable frame of her mother's Sleep Number bed lowered without warning. The mom was left trapped between the bed and a wall inside her Godfrey home for 2 days back in March of 2023, and she died a month later. The lawsuit seeks an unspecified amount for medical bills and suffering. Well, during this season of giving, it's important to remember some use it as an opportunity for taking. Tonight, Consumer Reports has a warning about Grinches trying to swipe your cash or steal your identity this holiday season.
It's worse than a lump of coal. Kim Harris sent her loved ones 2 $50 cards. But at checkout, they were told there's a zero balance.
They were like, we're sorry, there's nothing here. So I was embarrassed for her because I was like, oh no, this is terrible.
It's called the drain scam. Last year, 41,632 cases of gift card draining were reported. This resulted in a loss of $217 million. Here's how it works. Crooks go to a store, copy the card number and activation code, then reseal the package. When you load money on the card, it goes to Scrooge.
Yes, it was only $100, but it could have been $500.
Before you buy, inspect the card.
Run your finger over the card. Does it look like a sticker has been put over the barcode? Does it look like the package was opened and then maybe glued back together?
Buy gift cards from behind the counter or buy a virtual gift card. And if you receive a gift card, use it ASAP. Attention online shoppers. As you scroll through social media, some deals might seem too good to be true.
Passive scrolling is the biggest way that people lose money on social media. Take the name of the website and into any search engine or into bbb.org and type in the word fraud, scam, or review and see what people are saying about it off of the social media site.
Watch out for this delivery text scam. It looks like the post office is saying there's a problem with your upcoming delivery. Don't click that link. Swindlers hope you'll plug in your credit card information. You can get tracking notifications, but you must first sign up. Finally, it's the season to give, but make sure you're donating to a real charity. You can check Charity Navigator or give.org to confirm the charity you choose is making the best use of your money.
And if you decide to donate to charity or cause on a crowdfunding page like on Facebook or GoFundMe, make sure you know the person in charge of donations. Also, be aware that many websites take a small percentage of your donation. Tonight, videos are coming in of a loud and bright wake-up call in Indiana. Several outdoor cameras captured a celestial display moving across the sky this morning. Many in the Indianapolis area also heard a loud boom. Scientists believe it was a meteor from the annual Geminids meteor shower, which is expected to peak on Friday. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoined us now at that weather impact forecast. So, Scott, if I have this right, we're going to see some snow, or some of us will, but it won't be much.
It's not going to be much tomorrow. I think, most of us around the metro area stand the chance of flurries. It's really going to be hard to get more than flurries around Metro St. Louis. Farther to the north, maybe there's a little dusting on the grass as you head up towards Litchfield, up towards Hardin and Bowling Green. But for most of us, like it is tonight, the roads staying on the dry side. Yes, the colder air filtered in. It was colder today. It'll stay chilly through Thursday, but this isn't bitterly cold air for sure. Some snow showers and flurries on Wednesday, but little in the way of overall impacts. And then a bigger system arrives here as we head towards Friday. Now, if you're going to the southeast, mid-Atlantic region, there is stormy weather on the way tomorrow, maybe even some strong storms from the mid-Atlantic down into the Carolinas tomorrow, so potential for some flight delays there. We're tracking the colder air, trying to push in from the north and west. At the same time, some energy sliding by to our south. We're still in the upper 30s in St. Louis because we had the clouds south and east of St. Louis, and they only break up for a little bit. So ahead of this front, which comes through about midday tomorrow in St. Louis, we'll probably have just a little bit of time overnight for the clouds to break up in St. Louis, get us down closer to 30 degrees, and then we'll jump right back above freezing tomorrow. 38 now, 44 was the high, 34 the low. That's pretty close to average for this time of year. Upper 20s to around 30 overnight tonight. Dry tonight. Clouds a little thicker southeast of St. Louis. In the metro, really from 10 to 2. If we're going to see flurries, that's when it's going to happen. But temperatures are above freezing. Overall, from northwest off to the southeast of St. Louis, it's a 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. deal. The best chance for some snow showers that could amount to maybe a damp road or two will be off to the north and northeast of St. Louis. You see from our very latest hourly futurecast tomorrow, we're not painting a lot of snow on here. It's pretty isolated. So those snow showers are not going to be widespread. The flurries, yes, we'll have a few, but the trends now for any dusting continue to get pushed north and northeast of St. Louis. So we don't see it as being a big deal at all. Wind chills, though, tomorrow afternoon. If you have evening plans, maybe the kids have some activities tomorrow evening, temperatures are dropping back into the 20s, and wind chills will be down into the teens with those gusty breezes developing. So that is what you should be ready for tomorrow evening, that colder air pushing in and that gusty breeze. But otherwise, the flurries just kind of setting a mood for the season, right? And then we're down into the lower 20s early on Thursday. some of the outlying areas in the teens. The breeze does settle down some early on Thursday. Thursday in between weather systems. Friday, the clouds are thickening. We'll probably get through most of the day in St. Louis without much rain, but Friday night into Saturday morning, rain should be fairly widespread across the area, and it should be a decent soaking for us, too.
But it's rain, not snow.
It's rain, not any kind of winter weather here for that.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank Kazira Sports.
Mike, the Blues are trying to finish a road trip in style. Caitlin Clark finished 2024 in style, and you have to stick around for one soundbite from one coach that sums up what coaching should be all about.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
The Blues are finishing out their Western Canada road trip tonight with a game against Vancouver. They already have 4 points in the first 3 games. How about coming home with 6? First period, 1-0 Canucks. Dylan Holloway to Zach Bolduc with the one-timer. This man is gifted, he really is, and the one Blues fan in Vancouver enjoyed it. You know, the Blues have yet to score a shorthanded goal until now, that is. This is a rocket from Robert Thomas. It's a 2-1 Blues lead right now in the second period. So the easiest job in sales in the area has to be selling bragging rights tickets. It's arguably the #1 sporting event of the winter to begin with. And now you throw in that tidal wave of momentum from Mizzou after the Kansas win. So the question now is, how good is Illinois? Let's take a look. We head to Champaign, the Illini hosting Wisconsin. Check them out. Kasparis Yakachonis, a top 15 pick in the draft because he can do that. He can really pass it too. The dunk coming up for Tomislav Ivasic. And then Trey White will provide the exclamation point dunk. Illinois wins it 86-80. The 2 biggest landslides in American history could be Ronald Reagan's 525 electoral votes against Walter Mondale and Secretariat winning the Belmont by 31 links. Well, let's add a third. Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year today. No one could or should be close to Caitlin. Think about what she did in 1 calendar year. She became the all-time leading scorer in college basketball, and in that title game, 19 million watched. It blew away the men's title game by over 4 million viewers. Then first pick in the WNBA draft, and then the Rookie of the Year award with the Fever. And the league saw a 300% increase in viewership. She is to women's basketball what Tiger was to golf. Could the coach with the most Super Bowl titles in NFL history return to coach and do it in the ACC? 72-year-old Bill Belichick in North Carolina have been doing a lot of talking. Most thought Belichick would return to the NFL for 2 years and break Don Shula's all-time record. He's 14 behind. But maybe he thinks he can't get a job in the league anymore. He didn't last season. Last season, Williams Nwaneri was considered the best high school player in the state. The 5-star defensive end chose Mizzou. Today, he entered the transfer portal. He didn't play much this season, but at 6'7", 255 pounds, he has some physical attributes. So does this guy, Luke Walsh from Vianney, maybe the best basketball show in town. Facing CBC tonight, he gets the steal on one end and the layup on the other. The Cadets have a nice player, Devin Houston. Watch him slither to the hole and then the left hand. But Walsh out of sight. This from the logo, about 26 feet. Later in the lane, he had 50 points tonight. He is averaging 40 points. And Vianney wins 89-71. Finally tonight, the Spartans of DeSmet won a state title this weekend in football. And I want every coach at every level, and I want every person who manages people to listen to this 30-second soundbite by the coach. It's about how to deal with players and just people in general.
The more critical you are of a young man in sports, the softer you should talk and the closer you should get to him. So if you have something really abrasive to say, like for me, for example, then I'm always close and soft and almost whispering in their ear. Now, praise, I'll shout that out loud and everybody for the room. But I think that helps young men to keep their dignity, and they know that I'm going to tell them the truth. When things aren't up to standards, I'm going to tell them. But I'm sure not going to broadcast it to the whole world. And I think they appreciate that level of respect.
It's awesome. I think you should think about it when you want to yell at me for going too long in sports. Just whisper it to me. It'd be a lot sweeter.
I'm not in charge of that. That's all up to you and Scott.
All right.
All right, thanks, Frank. America runs on Dunkin'. How Americans can now run around smelling like the famous donuts. Here's a holiday gift idea for the Dunkin' Donuts lover in your life. The donut chain is teaming up with Native on a limited edition line of deodorant, shampoos, and other body care products. There are 4 scents: strawberry frosted, vanilla sprinkle, blueberry cobbler, and Boston cream. They're available online at Walmart for $10 to $14. Is that a snack in your armpit or what?
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Well, you'll smell good, I guess, going out the door to encounter a few snowflakes tomorrow. Just flurries, nothing substantial in St. Louis, no big impacts, but it is going to be cold and rather brisk tomorrow afternoon.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.